Hey guys, it is me, Jacqueline, for today's video. I have my July wrap-up and August TBR. For the month of July, I read a total of 5 books, so let's get right into my wrap-up. The first book I read this month was Ever the Hunted, and this is by Erin Summerall. I got an e-arc of this book via NetGalley from Carly, who is a publicist. I want to thank Carly so incredibly much because I loved this book, and I am so grateful over the fact she sent me an e-arc version of this book. This actually doesn't come out until December, but I just want to tell you guys, I would definitely keep this book on your radar. I loved it, and like straight loved it. It's probably one of my favorites of this year. Even weeks after reading this book, I still have it constantly on my mind. I'm so excited to see the direction of this book and where it goes with the next one. I think this is going to be a duology, which is super exciting, and it gives me a little bit of like this Robin Hood vibe. I so badly want to post a review video for it. I just want to talk about this book with other people, and I don't really know anyone that has read it. It's super sad, but I loved every single thing about this book. I am just flabbergasted over it. The next book I read was Fallen Crest High, and I was actually recommended to read this book by one of you guys in a comment on my new adult recommendations video, and I did not enjoy this book. I gave it a 1 out of 5 stars. It just wasn't for me, and the main reasoning for that is these characters were just a no. They were so dramatic, so frustrating, and just so annoying to me, and I kept picking this book up and putting it down. I mean, I read it really fast, even though I did pick it up and put it down a bunch of times. I thought I was going to DNF it because I was just so frustrated with these main characters. I'm proud of the fact I did finish it, but I did not enjoy this book. Then it was the booktubeathon, and during the booktubeathon I read a total of 3 books. I have a booktubeathon wrap-up video, which I will leave down below in the description box, but the first book I read was Idol, and this is by Kristen Callahan. I was excited to read this book because it was a new adult book. It was sort of like this rock star musician thing going on, and it just fell flat to me just because I was expecting it to go in one direction and then it went into a completely different direction that I didn't particularly enjoy. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. I did like the book, I just didn't love it. The next book I read during the booktubeathon was Little Black Dresses, Little White Lies, and this is by Laura Stampler. I just posted my review video for this book, which I will leave on the screen as well as down below. I go in depth about what this book is about, what I enjoyed about it, blah blah blah. I gave it a 4 to 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I was actually sent this book by Jenna over at JKS Communications, so thank you so much, Jenna, because I was pleasantly surprised by how much I actually did enjoy this book. The final book I read for the booktubeathon slash the final book I read for the month of July was Sweet Thing by Renee Carlino. Now, if you've seen my wrap-up video for the booktubeathon, I talked about how I would sort of discuss more about this book in my wrap-up video, and here we are. So in my booktubeathon wrap-up video, I mentioned 2 cons for this book. The first con I mentioned was the pacing of the book, and what I mean exactly by that is I felt the pacing of this book really took away from me getting into this novel. I'm going to try my best to not spoil anyone, but I felt that I was trying so hard to really connect and feel for these characters, and I felt like some scenes were cut off abruptly, or they were placed weirdly, or they were just scenes that didn't really make sense to me. I don't really know what it was, but I felt that the plot development lacked, and that made me trying to connect to the characters extremely hard. The second con I had for this book was our main character, Mia. Now, I'm not expecting to have a perfect main character. I don't want a perfect main character or a perfect character in general. That is extremely boring for me, so I love the fact that Mia does have her flaws, but I think because I was trying so hard to connect with her character and I failed because of the plot development, it didn't help the fact that certain actions that she did irritated the shit out of me. Like, I literally wanted to reach in and just shake the girl because I did not understand her mindset for some of the things she did. And there was like a point in the novel that I didn't even understand how the love interest liked Mia because I was just so frustrated with her character. And even though I was frustrated with her character, yet again, she isn't a perfect character. She does have her flaws, but it was just those actions that made me really distaste this book because I was just getting so mad at Mia. And I think that is an understandable thing, you know, I'm reading this character, I'm learning what she's learning and everything like that, and she's dealing with different things, and I felt for her character at some points in this novel. But yet again, there were just some points that I can't get over the fact that I was just so frustrated at her. In general, I gave this book a 3.25 out of 5 stars. I felt the pros outweighed the cons, and yeah, I just had to explain the cons because this was such an interesting read for me. So those are all the books I read for the month of July. Let's get on to my August TBR because that is a huge TBR. Like, I am being very ambitious for this month because I'm trying to read as many books as I can, and I have a lot on my radar. So wish me lots of luck, and let's get on to my August TBR. The first book I am planning on reading this month is actually one that I am currently reading, and I'm actually planning on finishing it either today or tomorrow, and that is The Crown's Game, and this is by Evelyn Skye. This is me and Caitlin's, I will leave her channel down below, book club book of the months. I will also leave our book club down below, and our live show for this book is actually tomorrow. It's going to be on my channel, and it's going to be 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Pretty much it's going to be me and her discussing this book tomorrow at 3 p.m. and I still have like 100 pages of this book left, so I will be reading this ASAP, and I will try to film my book review video and try to post it before the live show. Who knows if that's going to actually happen, but definitely come join us. Even if you haven't read this book, we will be talking non-spoilers at first, and then we'll talk spoilers, but we will be answering your guys' questions and all that jazz. I love Caitlin, and I love our book club and love being able to do live shows with her, so I am enjoying this book so far. I'm excited to talk about it with her because I have a lot of thoughts on it. The next 3 books I am planning on reading is the 3 books a part of the Remnant Chronicles series by Mary E. Pearson. The first book is The Kiss of Deception. This is going to be a reread for me. The second book is The Heart of Betrayal, and I am so excited to get on to this because after I will then be reading the conclusion, which is The Beauty of Darkness, and this book actually comes out tomorrow, so don't worry, you will be able to read this very soon. I am planning on doing individual book reviews, and the last book I actually already have planned to do a book review on August 10th. The next book I will be reading is A Torch Against the Night, and this is by Sabah Tahir. Now, you guys probably saw me, and I think I actually talked about the fact I was reading this book. I wasn't really reading this book. I think I read like the first 5 pages and then I just didn't touch it, so I haven't really gotten into this book enough to really be invested into it, so that's why I'm sort of reading other books before I really give my time and read this one. But after I do read this book, I will also be reviewing it because I will probably have a lot of thoughts and feelings on it, and I want to actually do a book review for the first book and sort of go in depth with that, so then I can go in depth with this book review as well. The next book I am planning on reading is Girl in Pieces, and this is by Kathleen Glasgow. This book comes out August 30th, which is the same date that the Torch Against the Night book comes out, so I do want to read that one first, and then I will get on to this one. This is a contemporary book that actually involves a girl who self-harms. I already feel very connected with that thought, so I'm very excited to see how this book goes. I have a lot of high expectations for this book because I've heard it is utterly beautiful, and I'm very excited to pick it up hopefully this month. The next book I am planning on reading is Stalking Jack the Ripper, and this is by Carrie Maniscalco. I hope I pronounced her last name correctly, but this book actually doesn't come out until September, and the main reasoning behind wanting to read it this month is because it actually comes out when I'm at college, and so I want to read and review it and then be able to post my review on the date it's released. And if I'm at college, I might not be able to film a review and stuff like that, so I'm going to plan to try to read this book sort of later this month, and hopefully that works out. And then the final book I am hoping to read or really start off reading is the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. I'm not going to set like a determined amount of books I want to get to or anything like that. I just hope I at least pick up the first book a part of this series this month. So that was my July wrap up and August TBR. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down below what you thought of the books I read for the month of July and what you thought of the books I have planned for the month of August. If you have read any of these books, let me know down below in the comments, and also let me know what books you read for the month of July and what books you have planned for the month of August. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!